What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut. And today, with the 21-22 NHL season looming, I decided that it would be a good idea to go back to the Rant series. And this video will be discussing why I despise the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, obviously, I'm a Flyers fan, Whalers fan first, Flyers fan second. So, Whalers aren't coming back anytime soon, unfortunately. So that means I'm a Flyers fan, which means I hate the Pittsburgh Penguins. This video is going to discuss why I despise the Penguins. The rest of the Metropolitan Division will be coming up shortly, don't worry. Now the first point is, of course, Sidney Crosby. I cannot stand Crosby. This guy is the second biggest baby in the league, behind only Brady Tkachuk, but all he does is whine and moan. All he does is complain. He'll get a goal, and then he'll have a beautiful assist, and he'll complain to the ref that he was hooked when he passed the puck. He'll complain. All he does is complain. And then he never has the nerve to fight. That's the thing that bothers me. Someone like Ovechkin, he'll complain, but then if you say something to him, he's going to drop gloves with you. Crosby will hide behind everyone. He'll only go after someone that's like 5'6" somehow in the NHL. He'll go after the smallest guy on the ice and a guy that he knows he can possibly land a couple punches in. Like, at least Wayne Gretzky would fight when he needed to. Ovechkin, like I said, will fight when he needs to. But Crosby, he's such a baby, he refuses to. Captain Concussion, as we love to call him, just complains every 2 seconds. And of course, part of it is because he's such a good player. So obviously, I know that he's one of the better players in the league, but yeah. And then we can't forget that the NHL literally gifted him to Pittsburgh. Now, because the 2004-2005 season was locked out, the NHL had a lottery system to provide, figure out who'd get the top pick. And Pittsburgh was one of the 4 teams that was given 4, lottery balls in the bucket, so to speak. And they ended up winning the Crosby sweepstakes. It's ridiculous. They shouldn't have done it that way. But the NHL, for a reason that we'll get to shortly after, towards the end actually of this video, the NHL was like, you know what? We'll do whatever we can to keep Pittsburgh happy. Next, we have Chris Letang. Now, the first part of this video is going to be a lot of players. Letang is one of the more hated players throughout the league. Why? I mean, even Pittsburgh fans hate this guy because his defense is so suspect. Like, you'll be watching a Flyers-Penguins game, and you'll just see constantly, the Flyers will get through on Letang's side. The Flyers get a goal because Letang wasn't covering. So that's why Penguins fans hate him. The rest of the league hates him because he's got that cocky attitude. He's just, he's got the attitude. Yes, he has the accolades to back him up, but it's an undeserved attitude, to me at least. And he's just not that good. He plays dirty. We'll get to a couple other players that play dirty soon, but he's one of the more dirty players. And he's another guy who he cries every second that he doesn't get the puck to go his way. He thinks, oh, hey, I was slightly cross-checked. He'll start crying to the ref, and then he'll go and deliver a complete cross-check, and then he'll get a 2-minute penalty, and he'll cry about it for the next 20 minutes. So, yeah, and I've been censoring myself here. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Next, we have James Neal in the 2012 playoffs. James Neal in the 2012 playoffs was a goon. There's no other way to put it. When the Penguins and Flyers met in I believe it was the quarterfinals, James Neal just played dirty. That's the best way to put it. I think it was even the same. If it wasn't the same game, it was back-to-back games. He literally tried to decapitate essentially Sean Couturier and another player whose name I can't think of off the top of my head. I don't think it was Giroux, but it might have been Voracek. I don't know. And basically, he just went after them. He tried to level both of them. And it's just like, yo, I understand you want to join the rivalry, but that's not the way to do it. You got to fight if you want to join the rivalry. You don't try to deliver vicious, dirty hits like that to 2 stars on the opposing team. Evgeny Malkin. Malkin's a guy who, like me personally, I don't necessarily despise Malkin, but he has to be listed because he's one of the better players. And like I've said it before in videos, I'm sure. Malkin, to me, is underrated. All right? Nobody considers him to be a star because everyone says, oh, he just rides Crosby's coattails. Okay, but Malkin himself is still a solid player. Still, though, Malkin, he's a bit of a baby as well. Just like Letang, just like Crosby. He plays a dirty, vicious style of hockey as well. He's even worse than Letang when it comes to that. He will deliver, he'll cross-check you, and then you'll elbow him back, in the next shift, and he'll flop and be like, oh, look, he hit me. No, that's not the truth. Fact of the matter is, you had it coming, and then you refused to fight. So, yeah, toxic fan base. Pittsburgh's fan base is almost as worse as Boston's and New York's. Specifically, though, their hockey fan base. These guys are toxic. Anytime you go to an article, you read an article about anyone that's not the Penguins, they have something to put in edgewise. So, anytime a Flyers fan, like myself, tries to have a civil conversation with a Penguins fan, they have to bring up, your last championships in 1975. You weren't even alive for that. Fair point. I wasn't alive for that. But why do you have to bring this up? I'm just trying to tell you that I think Malkin is underrated. Why do you have to bring up that I'm a Flyers fan and our last championship was, 20 years before I was born? What does that matter? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, if I bring that up to I don't even know, if I bring it up to a Steelers fan and say your last championship's more, in the past than ours, they're going to be like, oh yeah, well, you guys suck now. Okay. I don't understand. Booing Jágr. Jágr was one of the faces of this franchise for years, and everyone loves Jaromir Jágr. I love Jágr. The guy's still playing. He's been playing professional hockey since the 80s, and he's still playing. So, when he went to Philadelphia as a free agent, this toxic fan base decided to boo him. You can't boo a franchise icon like that. Like, if Giroux ended up going to Pittsburgh for a year, it would hurt me, but I wouldn't boo him. I would just be like, when they're doing the pregame introductions, I would be, I would clap for him, but I wouldn't be booing him. I would expect some people in the peanut gallery to be booing, but I'd expect the majority of the fans to be, hey, thank you for what you did. But this fan base, they booed him intently. Bandwagoners. This is the case for any team that's been good. You have so many bandwagon fans. It's just, there were so many people that would be talking about, oh yeah, I've been a Penguins fan forever. Really? Yes. Can you tell me anything? Can you tell me anything about your team pre-2015? No? Interesting. And again, that's the case for all teams that have been good. I've spotted many bandwagon fans. I've spotted bandwagon Eagles fans. I've called them out before. Trust me, I get it. But the Penguins fan base was even worse. And I didn't even write it down, but another thing that they'll do is, you'll be reading an article, and let's just say it's something about Ovechkin looking like he could potentially break the all-time goal record. They'll just write, Crosby's better. Crosby's better than Ovechkin. Crosby's better all-around player. It's just like, guys, this isn't about Crosby. This is about Ovechkin. Both players are great, and I'm not going to get into the Crosby v. Ovechkin discussion today, but you should not be doing that. You should just be respecting Ovi's greatness. Recent winning ways. So, recent years, Pittsburgh's been one of the better teams in the league. Obviously, they have 2 Stanley Cups in the past few years. In the past, I think 6 years, all of a sudden done with the season about to start. But, it really gets irritating. I don't like dynasties unless they're my team. And I just don't like dynasties, period. It gets really annoying to have the same team constantly winning with the same players. And you have someone like Crosby, the face of this dynasty. No, I can't. Cindy Crosby, again. Yeah, like I said, I cannot stand Crosby. If I end up doing individual player hate rant videos, Crosby will be getting one. Don't worry. He'll be one of the first ones. Of course, Brady will be number 1, but Crosby will be right up there. This guy's just such a baby, and I just can't stand him. I have so many nicknames for this guy. Captain Concussion. Of course, there's Cross, and then Female Dog is what I call him as well. I love using that one because all he does is cry and moan. Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury is one of the more polarizing players as well in Pittsburgh history. He's just, it was fun to watch him collapse, and I think it was 2012 and 2013 in the playoffs. He just really laid an egg. But, he just wasn't that good. He wasn't great. He wasn't elite. for times. But then again, you have him carrying the team to championships as well. A couple of them, I think. At least one. I know he was the backup in the most recent one, but, and then how they treated him when he left, they just say, all right, goodbye. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be doing that to a franchise player. If he wanted to stay with you, you should have made it work. And then you have the team almost relocating not once but twice, most recently being in 2007. Now, I mentioned before, NHL gifting Crosby, that I was going to discuss this moment in the future, why they gifted him Crosby. It's a conspiracy, I get that, but Pittsburgh attendance was garbage, and the team just was not able to get fans. So the NHL, not wanting to lose a team that was in their expansion from when they went from 6 to 12 and 67, they said, all right, we're going to do whatever we can to keep this team. So they've almost relocated twice now. Keep in mind, like I said, I'm a Flyers fan. We haven't even had any thoughts about relocation. All right? And they've had more success in their history. I get that. They've had more success in their history. But if that's the case, you guys should be cemented in your city, should you not? Why are you almost relocating not just once but twice, including after the fact when you had Mario Lemieux? That's the thing that gets me. You had Lemieux both times, once when he was a player and once when he was an owner, and he managed to keep your team here. Now, after these videos, I like to do one good thing about the team. Not going to do that for this one. Have a good rest of your day.